It's great to be with you. One of the things that you learn when you've got this job of mine is when you start out in the morning, what you think is going to be the day may or may not be quite the case. I was unfortunately late to join you, and my intent had been all day to be here early and get all things, but as we found out, I think some of you know, we learned just recently that AT&T is going to move their corporate headquarters from San Antonio to Dallas. Now, now you might ask, we're going to talk about Deep Ellum, why start with that? But I'd also tell you that I think it is very applicable to the sort of things that we're talking about today. Because what we're really talking about is a future, and in this case a neighborhood, but it's also an important neighborhood within a city. And it is also, I think, significant of what I hope all of you see as Dallas. And that is a city that is moving forward, that is aggressively trying to identify new opportunities, try to elevate its people, and provide a tax base that long in the future is going to do the sort of things that we need to do in this city to maintain the level of services, but also make it just absolutely a terrific place to live. I think when you see AT&T, but so many other examples, when they recognize the value of Dallas as a place to work, as a place to play, as a place to live, I think that's indicative of the opportunities that we have all in front of us. And that, to me, is a perfect example of the opportunities that we've got in Deep Ellum. As I've said for a long period of time, I'm excited about Deep Ellum. I really focus on the opportunities, not some of the problems. There's some challenges. There's always challenges. But the reality of it is at Deep Ellum, we've got something that we have very, very few places in Dallas. And that is an opportunity to have a brand, to have kind of a characteristic, character. That element of it. And if we can maintain that, then all of a sudden it is not only important to Deep Ellum, it also becomes valuable to the entire city and to the region. So when you see a company that decides to move here with the advantages that it brings of bringing new employees, new people, and that sort of thing, it presents great opportunities for Deep Ellum. Some of those folks are going to want to live in an area like Deep Ellum that's got the character, the sense of values, the sense of presence, the sense of history that you've got in Deep Ellum. It will also produce opportunities for shop owners as people come down, enjoy the restaurants, the bars, those sorts of things. And I think those are all great things for us and good, indicative of what can be accomplished if we all work together. As I said, I'm a great fan of Deep Ellum, and it comes from the sense of loving to go around the streets and see what Deep Ellum means and what it is, to visit with the people, but also in terms of the opportunities that it has. And as I said, in Deep Ellum, we've got a chance, if we retain what is special and what the character is about Deep Ellum, but also understand that we've got to go forward. We've got to have progress. We want to make it a great place to live, a great place to work, all of those sorts of components. If we're willing to do those sorts of things, then again, I think there's an awful lot of opportunities out here. I would tell you that I don't know of anybody on the city council, I think I can say this, that doesn't love Deep Ellum and want to see Deep Ellum be preserved in the same ways that some of your speakers have talked about too. And I tell you, I think that there's a real commitment to see that happen. And see that happen in a way that brings the community together. That kind of has the residents, the people that have businesses here, work together and continue to do it. And keep the architectural elements, the facades of the buildings, and that sort of thing, to give it a special character. To maintain the nightlife, which is clearly a special part of it. But at the same time, do it in such a way that it invites people to come down and does it in a safe way. I hope that we're taking the action, you see that taking the actions that are supporting that. Some of those are intangible things. As I do going around when I talk in the city of kind of, again, focusing on Deep Ellum because it is so special. It's got the chance to have a brand. We just don't have that too many places. I hope you also see it tangible ways too. Actions of trying to look at some of the businesses that have been in Deep Ellum that haven't contributed to the neighborhood, that haven't been the good neighbors, and trying to take actions to move away from them. Then I also hope you see us taking actions across the city. They're going to be a benefit of trying to work on vacant buildings, decrepit buildings, dilapidated buildings, and try to be much more aggressive than we've ever had before in trying to encourage people to take those buildings and do things that are going to benefit the community and go forward. I hope you're also seeing the impact of putting additional resources, not only from a monetary standpoint, but also from an organizational standpoint, just to be supportive of what the police are doing. We're adding police officers. That gives us additional ability to put men and women on the streets, but also we're trying to add some tools that they have so that we've got better ownership for communities, especially like Deep Ellum, but also better accountability. So we go to beat policing, we've got people who are in this community that have ownership of that community, that understand all the different elements of it, and really can be part of the community. And that's exactly exactly what we want to have happen. So in those areas, ranging from some of the things down at City Hall all the way through the policing, what we're trying to do in a lot of different areas, we're trying to be responsive to sorts of things. I'm a big believer in it, in Deep Ellum. As I said, I think it's one of the special areas, not only from the standpoint of the residential elements, not only from the standpoint of the business elements in terms of the nightlife and nightclubs and that sort of thing, but I'd also tell you in terms of work environment too. As I'm sure all of you are aware, some of the great games that kids are playing with today, they were developed in Deep Ellum. It gives us that chance to use that as a base to build businesses too. So I hope you're as enthusiastic about Deep Ellum as I am. I think the fact that we've got so many people here, so many people that are passionate about Deep Ellum speaks an awful lot to what I've just talked about. So with that, should we go to some questions?